Zach, I think you would agree. It's been an exciting offseason for the Chicago Bears. Honestly, ever since the Bears drafted Justin Fields, I feel like you and I are actually kind of excited for the season.
My Chicago Bears select Justin
Yes!
Fields, quarterback, Ohio State.
Anyways, Zach, with training camp right around the corner and the season, I think, like 60, 70 days away? I don't know. It's like 3 months, a little under 3 months away. I thought it was time we take a look at some of my concerns, some of your concerns as well about the Bears this upcoming year. Now, I think the first bullet point that you and I have mentioned in multiple videos, and we've talked about this countless times, but I don't think we've really gone into detail, is the cornerback depth. Like you mentioned, we lost Kyle Fuller. Jalen Johnson is supposed to be our number one corner, was injured at the end of last year, dealt with injuries in college. Not only do I worry about him as a number one corner, Zach, but I also worry about him being able to stay out there on the field. I think he's an incredible player, and he's so young, and he had a great year last year. I just don't know, like, playing across from Kyle Fuller, I feel like that's somebody that can help mentor you. Like, we sound like a Richard Sherman or something like that, and he could learn from that. I don't know. I love Jalen. Again, not trashing on him, think he's a great player, but in only his second year with 13, 12 games under his belt, getting pushed into a number one corner spot is going to be really, really tough. We also have Desmond Trufant, who we signed in the offseason. Of course, Artie Burns did get injured. I think it was before preseason. It was in like spring training or whatever, or not spring training, excuse me. It was in training camp that he tore his ACL. I know Pittsburgh Steelers fans don't speak too highly on him. And then, of course, Vildor, who is another youngster that actually played pretty well down the stretch. But Zach, again, injuries, like, I don't know if Trufant can stay healthy. I don't know if Burns can stay healthy. It's like injuries and everyone's just really young.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of like Bears, like they had like a 4-year stretch of dominant corners, but then after that it was injuries and then just inexperience. And I just feel like it's just like a constant thing where there's just an injury that could be nagging and everything. Like, it's just, it sucks.
Yeah. And I think the next bullet point that I want to get to is the offensive line. If you would ask me after week 8 or 9 what the Bears need to draft come 2021, the first thing I would have said to you would have been offensive line. I said, I don't care where we're drafting, get me somebody on the line, because our offensive line was awful. It seemed like we couldn't get a group together, nothing really gelled. And then at the very end, something changed. We put in the right guys, and all of a sudden our offensive line was awesome. We're going to have to somehow find a way to get James Daniels back in there with him being out and now becoming healthy again. But I think the most important thing here is we just find the right group and hope that they can replicate what they did at the end of last season.
It's not more of like how they will play. I expect them to play more towards how they did the end of the year. But just once we had to find that group that plays well, and that's going to be the issue for us.
Zach, as much as I hate to admit it, the most disappointing part of the Chicago Bears 2020 season, to me personally, was the pass rush. We went out, we spent all this money on Robert Quinn. We obviously have Khalil Mack, we have Akeem Hicks. Should have had the best pass rush in all of football, in my opinion. Yet, we were 15th across the NFL with 36 sacks. It just seemed like we weren't able to get to the quarterback. Robert Quinn did next to nothing. And I think that's got to be one of the biggest questions coming into the season is how are we going to create more chances? How are we, especially with our cornerbacks and the fact that we don't really have much experience there, they're young, we're going to need to apply pressure to other teams. Like, that's not even a question.
Yeah, we need to put pressure on it to get the quarterback to force the quarterback to have the ball out of his hand or get like sack him and everything.
Anyway, guys, as the season does approach, I'm sure we'll have more Bears videos for you guys. So make sure you guys do drop a like. Make sure you guys do drop a subscription. Check out Zach. He does stream down on Twitch. And until next time, we'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.